What just doesn't make sense about the Harry Potter universe? J.K. Rowling admits she's bad at math, but like how many people go to Hogwarts? If there are really only 10 students per house per year, that's only 280 people. But she describes hundreds, sometimes thousands of kids. The only compelling argument I can think of is that there was a huge demographic shift after Voldemort was defeated and a lot more people had babies, so the years right after Harry have a lot more students. I honestly think she just hadn't figured out how many students it was. Also, it's wild in the 5th book when Harry clearly has PTSD, but every adult, except maybe Sirius and Molly, is like, let's let his 2 teenage friends take care of him. Now that I'm an adult, Hagrid is my favorite and Dumbledore does not come off looking good. I adore Harry Potter, books and movies, but I would expand your closing remark about Dumbledore to the wizarding population at large. Outside of like 5 people, seemingly every single witch and wizard is an idiot. It's no wonder Harry is a standout when he's one of the few people in the story of average intelligence. Harry's quite a massive dumbass too. I'm assuming it's the wizard's obsession with keeping their bloodlines pure that caused almost the entire population to mildly go Habsburg. Why couldn't Harry just not compete in the Triwizard Tournament? It's clearly against the rules, it's clearly not supposed to happen, it's probably a trap since Harry has had 3 years of magical assassination attempts against him. Why not just let him forfeit every round and everyone can move on? This is one of my pet peeves, too. In the movie they explain that there is a binding magical contract. Okay, so what happens if Harry doesn't participate? Will someone sue him in Wizard Court? Will the Ministry of Magic arrest him? Why can't the relevant authorities just say, this is clearly bullshit, and tell Harry to stay home? Made worse by the fact that Fleur was able to not finish the underwater trial, but was obviously free from consequence and was allowed to continue on in the tournament. Like, there clearly aren't any real penalties for not participating. Harry was either too stupid or too vain to not participate. I don't understand why Dumbledore tolerated the way the Dursleys treated Harry so poorly. Even if he didn't want Harry to know that he was a Wizard World rock star, he might have had Hagrid drop by one day when Harry wasn't around to have a word with Vernon. Ha 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 ha, excuse me Vernon, is it alright if I pull you aside for a quick chat? Vernon Dursley and the unexpected ass-kicking. The fact that the killing curse is unstoppable, but people bother to use other curses while dueling in battles where they want to kill one another. It takes a lot of effort to create the killing curse. Plus it lets the person you are fighting know exactly what you are about to do. Touched on in the 6th book when Snape talks about why non-verbal spells have the surprise advantage over verbal spells. Harder to block/dodge something when you don't know what it is. Avada Kedavra can't be done non-verbally. This just makes me angry about the way they completely butchered the Voldemort and Dumbledore duel in Phoenix. In the books he's making statues jump up and block the curse for him. Fucking movie sparklers. Locking the 3rd floor corridor when anyone that knows a Alohomora can get in. Law student here. Adds criminal intent to the act of proceeding into the corridor, and it secured Fluffy against potential attractive nuisance liability issues. I'm sure the resident Hogwarts lawyer advised it. Habeas corpus. Quidditch. Scoring a goal is 10 points. Catching the snitch is 150. There would have to be a massive imbalance in chaser skill level between 2 teams for the snitch to not decide a game. Yeah, it's basically just 2 seekers and then a bunch of backup dancers. It's a game designed to make Harry the hero, like the quarterback in American football. But she still could have put some more thought into it. I admit she was handicapped by Harry being pretty much useless at everything. Also, each team only plays 4 games a year, for a total of 6 games. And it's stupidly dangerous, and the referee is useless. Love potions being legal. Gotta be the biggest bunch of date rapists ever. Brah, why do you think they were selling toenail clippings in Nocturne Alley? You're gonna polyjuice a hooker into your crush. While creepy, that's way less bad than using a love potion on your crush. At least the hooker is consenting. That fucking time travel locket. It breaks the entire plot. Agreed. Even if we accept that you can't use them to change the past, think about how many plot points could be resolved just by observing the past who opened the Chamber of Secrets. Time Turner. Did Sirius Black really kill all those people? Time Turner. Is Voldemort really back? Time Turner. I read that as, who opened the Chamber of Secrets? Tina Turner. And I was confused. School starts on September 1st, but Harry's birthday is on July 31st, and in the movie he takes the train just the day after. That is just how British rail system works. Time turners. Everyone acknowledges the massive potential ramifications of using a time turner improperly to the extent that they're not allowed to be used by anyone. But an exception is made for teenagers, arguably the most irrational users conceivable, with raging hormones and not yet fully developed brains. Probably not a good policy. But it was for a great cause, so a teenage girl could take multiple classes at the same time. They don't listen to any Muggle music. Some of them grew up with Muggles, so they should be into it. Same goes for TV shows. Well, there was Dean Thomas and his weirdly immobile poster of West Ham teacher in his room offering liquor to underage students at midnight. Wizards don't understand things like phones, Muggle clothes, or Muggle money. They live in a place where 99% of the population is Muggles. You would think they would pick up some basic understanding. Also, they use some Muggle things like tents and stuff, but still use middle-aged stuff like a feather to write. Why not use a Muggle pen? Also, I hate that they got rid of the wizard wearing strange Muggle clothes concept for the movies. Maybe the vast repertoire of charms that have accrued over time for quills don't work on pens, making the latter a vastly inferior option? Maybe the quill industry is enforcing its monopoly on wizard writing implements and shutting other tools out of the market? What the fuck happened to Dumbledore between 1929 and 1945 to turn him from Jude Law into Michael Gambon? World War II? Now that you think of it, can you imagine the guilt British wizards felt during the Blitz, knowing that they could just levitate all those German bombs safely away with magic, but couldn't because they'd expose themselves, even though they knew people would die? Why Rita Skeeter was able to write horrendous things about a variety of minors, resulting in them being attacked by adult wizard hate mail. Nobody at Hogwarts ever exercises. Hell, their only sport is them sitting practically still, and the Great Hall has unlimited fattening food, but everyone is super skinny. Especially Harry, who grew up underfed, would probably gorge himself and gain at least a few pounds. But no, everyone is super thin. Weren't Crabbe and Goyle described as chubby or at least big in the books? I believe so, but I think that was more about them just being large people to begin with. Maybe there is some way to magic the pounds away, but Crabbe and Goyle just couldn't figure it out. Why Goblet of Fire has a second name, Harry Potter and the Year Where Everyone Has Long Hair for No Reason Whatsoever. As much as I hate the hairstyles in that film, I think it reflected the trend of what teens would wear around that time. Why must we have poor choices? Harry Potter and the hair trends of poor choices. Their entire justice system. We think you killed someone, so we're not going to give you a fair trial or undertake in an unbiased collection of information. No, we're going to just let you rot in what equates to Alcatraz in the middle of the damn ocean, guarded by shadow demons that feed on hopes, dreams, human souls, and presumably the occasional puppy. Have fun. They have fucking truth serum. Innocent people being jailed is just ridiculous. Unbeatable truth serum. Exists magical justice system. We throw innocent dudes in prison without a trial and let obvious terrorists go free. There is no solution to this. Veritaserum is the most powerful truth potion they have, and it's far from unbeatable. It also only makes people say what they think is true, so if someone's memory was altered they'd still confess or deny anything they'd been told to believe. But still, no justice system that doesn't involve throwing the accused into magical Alcatraz. Also, Accio being a fourth-year spell. You can tell that this is only because JKR didn't think of it till Gov, because this incredibly simple yet useful spell appears exactly 0 times in previous books. Or just the way magic is introduced into new books as a device to advance the plot, then promptly forgotten about. Also, these plot devices will never be considered for any use other than to advance the plot, no matter how logical and basic. How in the hell did Hagrid's dad, a normal human man, have sex with a 25-foot female giant? Hagrid's dad was Tormund's giant's bane. Is the big woman still here? That Hogwarts was supposedly one of the safest places in the world. And supposedly only for the best of the best. I can assure you, if my kid is at Eton or Phillips Exeter and there's the ghost of Wizard Hitler living in the back of a teacher's head one year, and then kids being petrified and a possessed girl finding a snake dungeon in the girls' bathroom the next, and then a supposed murderer hanging around campus the next year, I'm going to have to evaluate whether or not my kid stays at that school. Maybe your kid will never tell you about all of that because he's enjoying the magic weed and crazy orgies way too much for you to take him out of what seems to be the wizarding equivalent of Mr. Bones' Wild Ride. They teach magic at Hogwarts but not maths, English, languages, IT, or P. IT would be difficult when technology breaks on castle grounds. No excuse for the rest. Combine IT with magic, and that's how you get a Jumanji reboot. There are Muggle technologies that are actually superior to what the wizards have. Like phones or faxes, given the books were written in the 90s. Today, it would be video chat etc. They need to send an owl cross-country while Muggles could just use the phone to get information across faster. Or guns. Or brack-a-bang. Okay, this has been driving me crazy for 7 movies now, and I know you're going to roll your eyes, but hear me out. Harry Potter should have carried a 1911. Here's why. Think about how quickly the entire Wizarding World War III would have ended if all of the good guys had simply armed up with good old American hot lead. Basilisk? Let's see how tough it is when you shoot it with a .470 Nitro Express. Worried about its Medusa gaze? Wear night vision goggles. The image is light amplified and retransmitted to your eyes. You aren't looking at it, you're looking at a picture of it. Imagine how epic the first movie would be if Harry had put a breaching charge on the bathroom wall, flashbanged the hole, and then went in wearing NVGs and a Kevlar weave stab vest, carrying a SPAS 12. And have you noticed that only Europe seems to have a problem with Death Eaters? Maybe it's because Americans have spent the last 200 years shooting deer, playing GTA, Vice City, and keeping an eye out for black helicopters over their compounds. Meanwhile, Brits have been cutting their steaks with spoons. Remember, gun control means that Voldemort wins. God made wizards and God made muggles, but Samuel Colt made them equal. Now I know what you're going to say, but a wizard could just disarm someone with a gun. Yeah. Well, they can also disarm someone with a wand, as they do many times throughout the books/movies. But which is faster, saying a spell or pulling a trigger? Avada Kedavra, meat of Tomat Kalashnikova. Imagine Harry out in the woods, wearing his invisibility cloak, carrying a 50 BMG Barrett, turning Death Eaters into pink mist, scratching a lightning bolt into his rifle stock for each kill. I don't think Madame Pomfrey has any spells that can scrape your brains off of the trees and put you back together after something like that. Voldemort's wand may be 13.5 inches with a phoenix feather core, but Harry's would be 0.50 inches with a tungsten core. Let's see Voldy wave his at 3000 feet per second. Better hope you have some essence of Dittany for that sucking chest wound. I can see it now, Voldemort roaring with evil laughter and boasting to Harry that he can't be killed, since he is protected by 7 Horcruxes, only to have Harry give a crooked grin, flick his cigarette butt away, and deliver what would easily be the best one-liner in the entire series. Well, then I guess it's a good thing my 1911 holds 7+1. And that is why Harry Potter should have carried a 1911. They are able to literally grow bones back from nothing but can't fix Harry's eyesight, so he doesn't need glasses. Seriously, doesn't Hermione get her goofy buck teeth fixed at some point too? even though her parents are dentists. I can't remember exactly where, but her teeth get cursed and she lies about their previous size to shrink them to a less buckler the size. The way wizards just didn't wear robes in the movies. The Malfoys, purebloods who want nothing to do with the Muggle world and Muggler-borns, are depicted wearing Muggle clothing in the films. Draco walks around in his black suit outfit for much of the later films, yet his family is supposed to hate everything Muggle. Why wouldn't they use the Veritas serum on Sirius when he swore that he was innocent? Dumbledore was a great man. I got massive respect for the dude. But when it comes to his role as a headmaster, I would say he is a pretty incompetent one. He had no control over administration and had no idea what's going on around here. Not to mention his massive bias for Gryffindor. Harry_breathes_Dumbledore, 10,000 points for Gryffindor. Kids from across the UK have to get to London to get on the Hogwarts Express, which takes them up to Scotland. Surely a kid from Scotland or even Manchester doesn't have to spend hours getting down to London to then go back up to Scotland. They actually do. The only exception might be someone who is from Hogsmeade, but all other students were to attend Hogwarts by taking the train or not at all. The minister who put it in place was Ottolin Gamble, and I'm somewhat ashamed I know that by memory. Goddamn, Hermione. Where do the pureblood kids go before Hogwarts/secondary school? Do they have a wizarding primary school? Are they homeschooled? They don't go to Muggle schools because they know jack shit about the Muggle world. I need ANSWERS. I always assumed they were just homeschooled. They probably learn basic life skills from their parents and read about magical books. I guess that makes the most sense, yeah.